Got my hat. Put on my right hat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. I'm doing one from my car today. It's been a while since I did a live stream from my car. Got my MAGA cap on, got my dark MAGA on it, and things. So yeah. So other than that, you guys can hear me. We're going to be talking about Chili from TLC, my generation and things. So therefore, going to let people come into the chat. I haven't did a live chat on my phone in a long time. However, we're going to go ahead on and discuss it. We're going to be talking about Chili. Some of y'all may consider her the infamous Chili. She's not infamous to me. And I don't see anything that she did wrong. Now, in fact, there was one thing I will say that I didn't agree with Chili, and that is not standing on her square. Because if a person were to donate, you know what I'm saying, make a donation, that means that you support the issues. Now, we're not saying Trump, but she assumed Trump is MAGA. MAGA is MAGA and Trump is MAGA. We're talking about making America great. This is not no cult, even though what the left has said. But I would have liked to have seen Chili stand on her square. It wouldn't have forced me off my square like that. I mean, here it is, though. When I looked this stuff up, she did several donations to my Chili from TLC. She did several donations, right? Which came to a total of $1,000. Now, she said that she was the reason that she donate because she was basically donated to help stop human trafficking, which is a good cause, which is an excellent noble cause. And this is what Chili was saying, right? She said that the reason that she donated because of helping veterans and also, right, when it come down to trafficking, human trafficking, right, child sex trafficking, because that's on that list too. And many of us that supported Trump and MAGA stood for the same thing. Now, here's the thing about it, though, right? What Chili was saying is that she was pretty much just saying that, oh, I'm not MAGA. Oh, I'm not MAGA. So, you know what I'm saying, though? So, I'm not gonna buy it either. I think she is MAGA because how can you donate money to MAGA and the Trump organization if you're not MAGA? So one thing I do disagree with Chili on. See, one thing you guys that know me, I rock, obviously, right? You know, and I will stand on my square. I'm not gonna sit up in here and be like, oh, I'm not a MAGA supporter. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with her though. I think she caved because there was a concert coming up. This is my opinion. It was a concert that was supposed to be coming up that featured Salt and Pepper. There was a few other groups that was going to be performing. You know how they do these old legends of old type of concerts, right? That is in my generation, right? So we're all in the same generation. We're all in the same age bracket, right? I remember TLC and all the rest of them, right? But the thing about it is that she simply did not stand on her square because in the so-called black community, what are they doing? They're saying, hey, it look like a duck, quack like a duck. And I'm in agreement to that point. If you are MAGA, stand on it. That's all I'm saying, though. She donated, was it 2024, up to $1,000 to the Republicans, right? Which I have no problems with it at all. But obviously she did because she caved on her words. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I do support the war on Iran. Let me tell you why before I go back on my point. The reason why I supported the war on Iran, I'm talking about the Ayatollah that they have taken out. They have neutralized the Ayatollahs, right? Now I got friends that are from Iran. We have these conversations all the time, and he knows like I know. In fact, if he was on my live right now, he would tell you that the Iranian people are a lot more happier since Trump have liberated them. But let me go back on my point, right? Talking about TLC. We're talking about that stuff some other time. This is not of geopolitics today. We're talking about chilling. Let's concentrate now. Stay focused. So for those that don't know who TLC is, it's a popular R&B group back in the 90s, right? You know, the one, don't go chasing waterfalls and creep. Left Eye and T-Bob and Chili and all that stuff. That was the group, right? They had this grunge female look, you know, all cute, sexy, that was produced by L.A. Reid and Babyface. And for those that know already in the black community, you guys already know. I'm talking about people that may not be aware of who she is, you know, because you know time has lapsed. What we talking about? 30 years. So you know what I'm saying. So other than that, I welcome you guys to the chat and things, though. You know. So other than that, though, you know, burning witches and what? Yeah, because that's really what it is. We've seen this with Nicki Minaj. We've seen the same type of stuff where in the so-called black community, because I remember I said a lot of times they all of the time it's very cultish. It's cultish in their thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Cultish culture. We're talking about very cultish, a cult, right? Minority group. They usually have a cult leader or two, you know, in a cult circle, telling people what to, who to vote, who to like, who not to like, and anybody that moves away from the reservation, that's where you get attacked, right? And this has have happened of many other people. What about what? And see, here's the thing about it. You have, I think Snoop Dogg is the one. We have Kodak Black. We have, you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne. We also have, there's a few others that I'm trying to think of right now. Mike Tyson, right? Even Miss Sexy Red, right? That's another one, right? Miss Sexy Red. Thank you for the like. Miss Sexy Red is another one. There's many others that have supported Trump, right? But my problem is that Chili, you should have just stayed on your square, because when you try to backpedal it, try to say, "Oh no, I'm not a MAGA supporter," you know, I don't care about MAGA like that. And we're gonna get to the Michelle Obama thing in a minute, because that was a repost that she did, right, about Michael Michelle Obama. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. So those two, it's going to get you're going to get what they call the bee. You're going to get the beehive, like the bees coming out of the hive. Now you're rattling the beehive. I've been rattling the beehive, though. They come in this room sometimes, but they're not disrupting nothing. They're not even a group for real. All they are is faceless keyboard warriors talking ish over the computer, right? Talking about they ain't gonna go to her part. I mean, her you know what I'm saying, concert and everything like that. You know, and that's the thing about it. All I'm saying is for Chili, if you should have stood on your square. That's what I mean. Stand up for what you believe in, you know. But if your black voter base, or I should say in this case, your base is black, right? And I get it, because it messes up money and sales, you know, because you got some people that rock with you, or at least used to rock with you. And it's sad that we in the so-called black community is still on a tribal, primitive mindset that we still, as a group, have not evolved. Individually, yes, but as a group, no, because we have people in the so-called black community that want to keep us chained to the Democrat Party. They want to keep us chained to the type of people we should support and everything like that. And when you step out of that, this is what's going to happen. The difference between people like myself and others is that I done build up a black support base like she has, because she's been in the music for over 30 years. So you got to understand that this was going to come. And I think that because not everybody can take this type of stuff, you know. She used to be in the Darling, very attractive looking woman, still got her weight down and everything. And the problem is that she was not expecting to get this type of backlash like this. Then they came at her. I think they came at her harder than they came at Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki's saying, hey, you know, I'm MAGA. You know what I'm saying? And I support Trump. And she said it. So this is what make Nicki more credible than being wishy-washy. All I'm saying, though, for Chili, stand on. Thank you for that 100. I appreciate it, guys. Stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? Stand, be about that life. Be about it. That's what I'm saying, though. You know, be about that life. Be as it was posted here, 100. You know what I'm saying? For real. So that's the only thing that I didn't. Well, it's actually another thing with Nicki Minaj. I mean, sorry, with Chili as well. There was Chili, what's her name, Rhonda Chili Thomas. So here's another thing about Chili that I didn't agree with. She said it was a repost, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember? And I read her statement. She said that she reposted something about Michelle Obama about her being a man. And make a long story short, now the thing about it, it's the same thing. Do you stand on that, or how you gonna repost it, right? I mean, we all know technology now. Did y'all think that she meant to post that? Because if she did, and then she tried to say with this technology stuff, and I'm not buying it though at all though. I believe she posted it, and then when she got the backlash that she got, then here we go. Now she's trying to backpedal, you know what I'm saying? So it's two things I should say that I have a problem with Chili. Besides that, I don't care. I don't care. Obviously, I don't care about her donating to the Republican Party. You know how that go. But the thing about it is that um, she she could have been one of these type of people and say, hey, I don't. She just went in there and reposted something, and then she went back in there and tried to clean it up. I mean, you guys, you know what I'm saying. In fact, let me see here. I'm gonna make you get too far with my comments, but hold on for a minute, guys. I see some of the comments and stuff like that. Uh, Let me see here, here, and I'm looking at them, guys. Looking at it, whatever, like that. One thing about I don't mind you guys coming after me with names. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. So, like I said before, I have gotten. I mean, this is in this business, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about. This is called social media. Most of them are cowards, and you got to think about that. I appreciate that gift there. I still see that. Who is that from? Hold on, where are my glasses at? Hold on for a minute. Where did I put my glasses at? Oh boy, hold on for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Because like I said before, yeah, I don't mind you coming after me for say. Oh, there they are. There they are. All right, that's gonna be a little bit better here. Yeah, I get Nutty Professor a lot. That ain't hurting me, man. I still been over here almost 3 years. He says you're blurry. Am I blurry? Hold on for a minute. Let me go and clean this up a little bit. See, I'm blurry. Uh-oh. Hold on for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure that's clear. Am I blurry now? So, how do I look now? That's come from pushing my hand up there on that camera. How do I look now, though? I should have checked and made sure the lens was cleaner. Am I looking better now? Is it, okay, great. Okay, great stream, but I gotta drop the kids off at pool. Okay, no problem at all. No problem. If if I'm around, you can come back. You're more welcome. Yep. What is it? Accepting accountability. Okay. Sent to 100. Yeah, I appreciate you accepting accountability. Call me Janine or yeah, Janelle. I mean, yep. I appreciate you. She says hi. Love the message, but my brother, start your health journey. I am planning on doing that though. I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I know, I got my mother on my head, got my brother on my head, and like I said, I'm actually recovering from an old IT band. Very painful. I'm glad it's not sciatica. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna get on out here though. Your brother, your nutty, your Tony Nutty Professor, your brother is gonna get on his health journey this time. I swear. And that way you'll see me around because I want to be around. I got my water here. You see my water here I've been drinking. I'm gonna stay away from sugar and stuff. And with you guys and y'all motivation, gonna get me to the healthy spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a sponsor of this, but if they Flo, if you don't mind, this is alkaline spring water. This is in a carton, not the plastic bottle. No microplastics in the system. So there that is. But yeah, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Yep. He said, respectively, brother, you look like my friend in high school. His name was Mike. He went to the Navy and lost contact. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, B. Jones, man. Yeah, I get that a lot, man. I get KRS-One a lot too. I look, especially when I lose weight. When I was a lot thinner, I used to get KRS-One a lot. You know what I'm saying? I remind people of people and stuff. it's good to be reminded though, for real. It's good to be reminded. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so as I start on my health journey, I ate my salad yesterday from the Mediterranean restaurant that does not have sugar in it. It was one of those for two salads, man. I love Mediterranean, you know what I mean? But yeah, stuff like that. But where was I, man? Let's go back on my. Thank you for the light too. I appreciate it, man. All is welcome, man. We may all not have to agree on everything, but I'm your brother. I'm still your brother. You know what I'm saying? Tony Love. But going back on this Chili thing though, man. Yeah, she's been taking a beating in the black community though, man. I tell you, man. Woo, she's been getting beat up, man. Big time. B. Jones says, of course. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. No problem at all, B. Jones, man. I welcome you in the chat, man. But I mean, B. Jones, let me ask you this question, my brother. How do you feel about Chili? I mean, because I mean, you know what this. Everybody in the black community know what the story is. Are you in agreement with what I'm saying? Should she have stood on her square? Would have had more respect for her, saying that she was MAGA and supporting Trump instead of just cowardly saying, "Oh, I'm not MAGA," and all this other stuff. How do you feel about that, B. Jones, and anybody else, man? Respectively, you know what I mean? How do you guys think in regards to Chile? Now, like I said before, I am not in agreement with what she was talking about. I think personally, respectively, Chili, you should have stood on your square. That's all I'm saying. B. Jones says it's misplaced anger from the community. She should have stayed. Stayed 10 toes down. I agree with you though, B. Jones. Because one thing about people, they may not like me or people that support MAGA, but one thing about it is that they will respect us. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. You may not have to like me, but one thing about it, you can at least say you can respect me for sitting here, standing 10 toes down. I'm talking about for myself. Now for Chili, she could have done that. That's why with Nicki Minaj, she gets a lot of respect and things because Nicki told everybody what it was. I mean, she met with Erica Kirk. She met with, Trump and everything and was all, you know what I'm saying? So she's been over there at the Turning Point USA and all the rest of this stuff, right? But one thing about it is she stood on her square. I'm talking about Nicki Minaj. Let's see here. Matt says, hey, hi, what's up, man? Never been here before. I know I should not judge a stream by 1 minute because it lacks lacks self-awareness. But you seem chill and like a good people. Man, I appreciate that though, Matt. Matt, Noah, man, you know you're more welcome to being in this room too, man. I am a chill brother. I'm your brother, and some of y'all guys, I'm your brother from another mother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for my vibe is chill. I get excited sometimes, but in a good way. I get passionate, but I just don't go in here and start attacking people just because whoever they align with. You know, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody out for being, but when they come in here, tease me, nutty professor. I done heard it all. Uncle Ruckus, you know what I'm saying? Boot liquor, sell out. You know, I've heard all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Butter biscuits, you know. Negro wake up call. Thank you for the likes. I've heard all that stuff though, man. You know. So one of my friends was asking me. He said, "What does butter biscuits mean?" And I had to let him know where that came from. I said in the slave era, right, when the slaves did good or when they turned on their other brothers, they get rewarded with butter biscuits. Because when you was a slave, they ain't going to pay you with no cash, but they'll pay you with them butter biscuits, right? And some people generally, not just black folk, love them butter biscuits, man. The little butter on those biscuits. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So let's see here what's going on if I go get too far. All right. So Matt Noah says I get absolutely roasted on my stream as well. Yeah, Matt, I'm so used to it like you, man. But I'm still doing it. A par for the course, right? That's a golf term right there. I definitely get it. Second Coming is laughing with the an emoji, and B. Jones says, "Ignore the trolls, fam. I'm not MAGA, but I enjoy respectively dialogue." Yeah, absolutely. I got my friend Omega that comes on here, which is a mod as well. He had his own channel. he tells you he's a moderate for real. I never really met too many moderates though. Most of the people, I believe, what I'm run across, even in this room, the debates and everything, I think that most of them are liberal, but they're too embarrassed of their own Democratic Party, so they'll say I'm moderate when actually they are literal. I mean, being a liberal. Now, for me, for say, I'm not going to attack anybody for say, you know what I'm saying, that rock that way, because America, that's the thing about being American. Same thing when we have multiple religions and stuff like that. So no matter what you are, everybody should be respected, right? And same thing how you vote, right? But not to be attacked. And I would never come out there and attack people for, just for whoever they politically voted for or whatever their religion orientate or whatever that is, man. I wouldn't do it. Let's see here. The heavy metal Tin Man says, "What's the topic?" Oh yeah, the topic today is about Rhonda Chili Thomas, which she is better known for being in the group TLC. Now, if you, some of you whites, though, some of you guys that are white and other rock with R&B music, and you all have heard her music, Creep and Waterfall. There's so many of them, right? Um, what's that one things? Hanging out the best friends, right? Trying to holler at me. No, I don't want no scrub. The song is called Scrub. But she was one of the members in that group. And you guys have heard that song before. Whether you like R&B or not, you have heard the song. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about her. And for me, the things that I disagree with Chili on is not standing on your square. She denies by saying that she donated for MAGA, right? Well, when you look at the election donations that come in, she have donated in several of these as far as under MAGA. It came to $1,000. She said that she was donating to stop trafficking. She said that she was donating to help the veterans, which I think is a wonderful donated cause, because at least on the MAGA side, whether if she's MAGA or not, that is not the question. But to me, but let me ask B. Jones this. B. Jones said that he's not a MAGA. But B. Jones, be honest, would have donated to the Trump, would you would have donated for Trump for those noble causes for you not being MAGA? Which you still would have donated? I'm just being, and for you guys as well. Do you guys also, would y'all would have donated to MAGA if we're talking about child trafficking, any child trafficking, sex trafficking, right? And then we're also talking about veterans, which you would have donated to the MAGA, right? Because those were some of the things that was on their policies. Would you would have stopped? Would you would have donated? That's all I'm asking, right? Let's see here. Let me go back here. Hold on. I don't want to get too far now. Hold on for a minute, because I know some things coming in. Okay. Teresa says, Trump, Trump, Trump. America. I know that's right. There we go. Matt says, I'm a moderate, but you're right in a sense. I used to be a liberal, but I'm probably more moderate with a slight lean right these days. Yeah, I respect that. That's respected. B. Jones says, I live in Chicago, right? I'm honest about the state of this city, right? Something has to change. And you know what, B. Jones? I'm not too far from you. I'm over here in Detroit, man. And I've been to Chicago. I have great respect for, what's her name? Danny C. and Jessica. Shout out to Danny C. and Jessica, flipping Chicago red. That campaign that them sisters single-handedly, thank you for the likes, the sisters that single-handedly, started. That was a grassroots organization. Now look what it has sprung into, right? Because of the dissatisfaction of how the mayor and the governor, we're talking about Mayor Brandon Johnson. We're also talking about J.B. Pritzker, these two had a lot to do with the blacks that were losing their properties over there in Chicago. It's a big mess. They gave a lot of set-aside programs. They leapfrog over the black community like they always do on the left. So this is why they started that organization called Flipping Chicago Red, right? She met Trump. She been on interviews on major networks and stuff. So shout out to those sisters, man. Whether I'm sure if you may not have to be a MAGA, but you still have to support the cause. And that's all they're saying, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they never gave a, you know what, about Chicago when it was blue. They just said, hey, we got the blacks in our back pocket. We don't have to do anything for them. They're just going to continue voting like they normally do, right? But those sisters in Chicago, and I'm sure B. Jones know all about it. You can't be in Chicago and not know who flipping Chicago Red is. So that's the thing about that. Let me go ahead and read the other thing. Matt Noah says, I'm from Chicago as well. Used to live in Hyde Park. Oh, that's what's up. You got Oak Park. You got a lot of other areas over there. Schaumburg, for the business area. You know, you guys got that. That Lake Shore and all that stuff. The Miracle Mile and all that. That's what's up. The Heavy Metal Tin Man says they were awesome. Oh yeah, they were though. Heavy Metal Tin Man. Yeah, they're an awesome group. Them ladies is putting it down, man. You know. B. Jones says, "What's up, Matt? I'm in South Loop. That's what's up. I've been on the loop. You know what I'm saying, in Chicago." Yep. Matt Noah says, "What's up, B. Jones? I moved from there a bit ago. I'm now an hour from Chicago right now, on the border of Illinois. That's what's up in Indiana. Oh yeah, there's Hammond, Indiana. You know what I'm saying? I've been there as well." Matt Noah says, "Used to work at Chicago Board of Trade for ages." Oh, that's what's up, man. Congratulations to you. B. Jones says, "I'm a vet. I donated my body." Oh, that's what's up. I got a lot of vets here at B. Jones, man. My friend Omega. We got Joe Mama, not Joe Mama, but Joe Mama. He comes in here. He's a vet. I got a lot of vets that rock with your boy here. B. Jones says, Crete, question mark, to Matt Noah. The heavy metal tin man says, people are funny when it comes to political beliefs. They typically won't appreciate anything the opposing party is for, no matter how much they agree. Yeah, and this has come from these old so-called elites on these parties, on both of the parties, and things like that. So that's where all that stuff, in my opinion, come from. Let me see here. B. Jones says, "Okay, Matt, I was born in Gary, Indiana, home of the Jackson Five, man. That's what's up. I see a doctor, or yeah, in Gray. Okay, doctor in Gray on Grant Street. Well, they changed the name of it to Richard Gordon Hatcher. Oh man, learning something. Oh, you got Red Guy 9 in the house. Boy, what's going on with you, sir? What's up? He has here. What's up, Tony? Hope all is well. Yes, sir. All is well, man. All is well. Yeah, and I'm glad to see you on, man. Appreciate you, man. Antonio Montana says, United States of America. I got to make the correction. He meant America, ladies and gentlemen. B. Jones says, I know my pick is deceiving, but I'm a woman. I'm sorry, B. Jones. It's all good. I still got much love for you, no matter what you are. You can be an alien from another planet. You welcome on my channel, though. I may have some questions for you, but it's all good. Please don't abduct me, but it's all good. Thank y'all for the likes. Says, I played basketball all my life, so I come off masculine. It's all good, though, no matter if it's masculine or feminine. Just know with your masculine energy still can be used and stuff, because you never know. B. Jones says, just subbed. I appreciate it, B. Jones. Thank you. Glad I found this channel. Yeah, I'm glad I found you, or you found me. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm glad to see, that you found me and everything. And this has been good. Neil says, hi from Scotland. Oh, yeah, man, that's what's up. Got somebody all the way from Scotland, ladies and gentlemen. Which part are you from Scotland? Edinburgh? Which area are you from, Yeah, boy, the Scots, man. I got friends that got their Scottish crest, Yeah, I like you guys, Scottish crest, man, they all mean something, too. Different types of, tribes and stuff and all that, B. Jones says, ask away, no sweat, fam. Oh, it's all good, though. Military person. That's what I'm talking about. I got Yasim Hassan in here. Yasim Hassan, what's going on with you? He says, "Hi, I'm new here. I'm from Pakistan, right? Yeah, it's all good, man. It's windy and pleasant here. That's what's up. That's what's up." Neil says, "I'm from Glasgow. Man, that is what's up. I know where that is too. But Neil, I know, man, it's like that accent. No disrespects though, Neil, but you guys have a strong accent from Glasgow, man. I can't even barely understand. But I'm glad that you're typing, man. I tell you, man. But it's all good. Let me see. We got Matt Noah says Rangers fam. Neil, that's what's up, man. We got what? We got a Ranger in here. Boy, I got Special Forces. I got Army, Marines. One of my best friends. He's like an older brother to me. He's a Marine. Well, you know what they always say? Once a Marine, you're always a Marine, right? I got Special Forces. I got Delta, Navy SEAL. I got what's the other ones? 10th Mountain Rangers, man. The 10th Mountain Division. I'm sorry, 10th Mountain Division, man. Boy, there's so many of them. I can't keep up with all of them. You know what I'm saying? For the different parts of the military. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me see here. We have young propane for the children. What do you mean by that? I'm not going to even ask no further. Red Guy 9, Duke, I got robbed Saturday night. 5 against 8, including refugees. Hold on, Red Dog. What happened? What happened to you? You say you got robbed last night. What do you mean? Yeah, you mean money? I mean, somebody rip you off money wise, or something? Or what happened? Matt Noah says it's football, soccer. Okay. Oh, okay. Got you. All right. I'm about to go on with okay, it's all good. Antonio Montana is laughing. I know it's kind of funny. I mean, I'm rambling off on the military. Yeah, I forgot about that. It's all good, though. Talking about sports. I get it. Yep. Yeah, I get it. Football, soccer. Got you. In different parts of the world, we did call football down. Don't hold it against me. Black Pursuit says, my pops retired, Master Gunny Marine. Yep, I got one that's a Master Sergeant, some gunnies. That's what's up, though, Black Pursuit. That's what's up. Neil says, yes, it is a hard accent for you to understand. Hey, I have tried to talk to some people from Glasgow. Man, it was tough for me. But hey, I appreciate you on here anyway. You still accept it. You part of the fam. You know. It said B. Jones says, agree, Red Guy 9. No way they blew the lead without help. Oh yeah, I got to say, I thought Red Guy 9 got robbed for real. I say, what the heck? Boy, I tell you, man, you about to get me activated. Oh my goodness. Young Propane says, I pooped. Yep, you got to take care of that IBS stuff, man. That irritable bowel syndrome, young Propane, you got to get that taken care of. Antonio Montana says, LOL, this man can't read. I try to do the best I can with these glasses, though. Don't hold it against me. Matt Noah says the NCAA had he's talking about. I got you. B. Jones says he's talking. He's taking March Madness. Okay, I got you. Okay, B-ball. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's about that time. I get it. I get it. So let's go back to what we were talking about here. You guys had a conversation, but I'm just saying. So the original conversation was about TLC, the group. Love, Sexy, Cool, which is one of those, one of the CDs that they had, right? With the one, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, Creep, and stuff, Scrub, and there was so many of them that they had. But there was one member in that group her name was Rhonda Chili Thomas. And she came under heavy scrutiny for the past few days coming from the black community. And they were upset with her. They were upset with their sister because they found out that she donated to Trump. She donated to Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, 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 boy. The world is coming to an end. Oh, my goodness. So that's one of the things that ended up happening. They found out that she donated about $1,000 in total since 2024. Now, the thing about it is, and I said it before, I said it again. She donated to this group, which is the MAGA Republicans, Trump. She said the reason she did it because she read some of the things that they stood for, far as stopping human trafficking, and what else she said? She said the other thing was helping the veterans, which is good, noble causes, right? And then there was she reposted a statement saying that Michelle Obama is a man. So that's why we're talking about this stuff right now. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, So yeah. So now the thing about it, yeah, Chris Cross says, "Oh my gosh, she must be MAGA." Well, here's the thing about it, and all I'm saying is this: if she is MAGA, she should have stood on her square, because like Nicki Minaj, case in point, right? So when she announced that she was supporting MAGA, met with Trump, all embraced, she met with, what's her name, Erica Kirk, the whole deal, Turning Point USA. Nikki got big backlash from it. They were even talking about trying to deport Nikki. They were trying to come for the queen, boy. You can't come for the queen. But at any event, this is what I'm talking about here. Let me go wipe these glasses, a little foggy here. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, so that's what ended up happening, right? They were very, very upset with her. It was cancel culture. Now, my thing is simply this, I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, right? Cancel culture doesn't help the situation right at all. Because one thing about it, on the MAGA side of it, you don't see them out here trying to cancel anybody. But this is coming from the left. And again, you can't be what we call a snowflake. You got to stand on what it is. Now, if she happened, because here it is, Chile ain't taking care of nobody. If you are on the left, so what, right? Chile is not taking care of nobody. So why should it matter, right? She donated. Why should it matter? Even if she didn't donate, why should it matter? It's just really stupid. It's just silly though, really, when you really think about it. So why should we care, and why should it matter? That's what we're talking about here today. But so those statements and stuff that came out, and now she's backed in a corner, and then she tried to retract the statements. Oh, I'm not MAGA. Oh, I'm not MAGA. I'm not this and that, basically. But most people are going to assume that you are, or say that you are, because you donated money, right? Right there. Now, we know that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of conservatives in my room, like myself, and there's also a lot of liberals in this room, or whatever. The reason a lot of liberals and moderates come in this room, because I allow them to talk. They have, be allowed to speak. This is not a echo chamber in here, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is simply this. You have to agree that many of you that either are moderate or even on the right or on the left, you probably would have said that, hey, she should have just stood on her ground, and just said by just admitting it. Because really it makes her look very, very weak, when a little bit of pushback coming from any group, and she didn't stand 10 toes down, as B. Jones said. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it is, right? So for me, are you claiming Republican? Oh, you didn't see my hat. Sorry about that. You know. Yes. For those, I want you to be able to see. There you go. See, and this is the thing about it. I've always been, about this life. I'm talking about making America great. Here's what I want to explain. Because I know the policy so well, I have never married myself to a actual party. I'm going to explain the reason why. Like with black folks on the left, they are married to the Democrat Party. The problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, After Civil Rights, 1964, 65 was the Welfare Act, 67 was, 68 was the Fair Housing Act. And there was a lot of other set-asides and programs that the Dems gave to the blacks, which they became Democrat. Then after that, they became loyal to that party. Here we are over 60 years later. We start looking at our communities going down. We got black leaders, black politicians, but the crime steady going up, black on black crime, right? We talking about drugs and so forth that were pushed in our community, but no pushback to really get rid of it and things like that. So it's just spiraling out of control. The point that I'm trying to make is that happened because blacks were so blindly voting for a party that did not give a about them in return. That's why we say you should never be married to a party. And that's the big problem. But I know where a lot of blacks get it from, because you got people like Al Sharpton, there was Jesse Jackson, rest in peace, Jesse. But it's true, right? Al Sharpton, right, was another one. You got Roland Martin. You also have who was the other one? There's so many of them out there, right? Even in the religious houses and so forth, they all have the same narrative to stay loyal to the Democrat Party, no matter who it is. But I'm calling them out because they never cared about us in the black community. Even they have leapfrog putting these one with Obama in the LGBTQ community, which is at the time with Obama was 4%, and he gave set aside programs and gave them a protection status as being LGBTQ and a lot of other things. Right? Let's go ahead and keep it 100. That's what ended up happening. So when you leapfrog over the black community, none of them have any of y'all read the real civil rights bill in 1964? Have you looked at it? Because it wasn't something that Martin Luther King stood on for rigid. Martin Luther King was a Republican. That's what's another thing. Daddy King was a Republican. And I can go into the reasons why they were later again. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we're just talking about it here. You should never, ever allow yourself to be married to a party. And blacks have voted Democrat well over 60 years. And look at our communities, look at the crime, look at the other major issues that are going on. But we have to be concerned about a R&B artist, of what she did and who she voted for, instead of looking at our community. Because no matter if it's Trump or anybody else that get in that White House and become the president, we already know if there's no demands that's being pushed on a particular party for change, what is it all good for? That's what I'm saying, though, right? It has to be more than just staying on code. Staying on code is what got us in this problem, in this situation in the first place. This is why I don't have a lot of respect for Stephen A. Smith. He's another one. Wishy-washy. Stephen A. Smith is a sports commentator, right? Sport journalist commentator, right? So I respect that in his field. But I don't respect for him coming over on the politics side. He should not cross over in that arena and things. But he did it. And then he made a statement about what Trump said about Jasmine Crockett. And then they had a talking with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith comes off as a moderate, but he's not. He's a liberal. But he also have conservative viewpoints. But the problem with Stephen A. Smith, just like with Chile, is that when they are being pressed or being told, hey, you did this and that, you got to make a correction of it, or we're going to kick you out of the Democratic Party. And with Stephen A. Smith, they would have came after him for his position. This is how the serious of the consequences of celebrities, right? Because they would have actually kicked him out of that journalist seat. Stephen A. Smith, I could see it now. He got resignation or resigned or whatever the case may be. Because his assessment about Jasmine Crockett was absolutely correct. And I agree with Stephen A. Smith and many others. But he was told, oh, she's a black female and how I should not have to criticize her. Black female been criticizing black men as long as I've been around or before I've been around. You mean to tell me what gives a right where they can't or where they're above being criticized? Make it make sense, Stephen A. Smith. That's what I'll be asking. Make it make sense. So he lost a lot of credibility. One thing about a man, when a man don't stand up and stand up straight, and he did that to me, see, they win and he lost. No strength. We got to have more strength in the black community to see strong black men stand on their square and stand on what they believe in, no matter what the type of opposition that they take. That's what makes us a man. We're not women. And I can understand with Chili a little bit more because she's a female. But for a man, we stand on our square. We stand on what's right. We ain't snowflakes, you know. But he was a snowflake. I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. And I gotta call him out for what he really is. That's the truth, right? He didn't stand on his square. The thing about with me, with people, they may not like me, but they could still say, hey, I respect this brother because this brother ain't hiding, right? You know, I could be one of these faceless dudes up here. Like you see some people showing the videos of Trump. They never show their face for clicks and views, but they are not willing to take the slings and the arrows. For you to be able to stand on what it is, and I expect for you to do the same as a Democrat. If you want to stand on it, stand on it, you know? But here's another thing, though, too. I find that people that are Democrat, they claim that they're moderates. They get triggered of what I say, what many people say, and then what they'll do is that they'll just come in here on the attack. They never have anything intellectual to say, to challenge or debate what I say, and they get in their feelings. And that's where we lose, right? Because it's called dialogue, right? And that's exactly what it is. I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered of what anybody's saying in the room that is negative. I done heard it all, you know? So it's like, well, what would be the point? See, I stand on my square. The thing about with her, she doesn't stand on her square. That's the thing. So that's what I'm talking about. The two statements that she said, number one, right, is that she said that she's not MAGA. But, ladies and gentlemen, she donated $1,000 to MAGA. Many of you say, oh, yeah, she MAGA. I have no problem with it. You know, obviously, I don't have a problem with it. Number two, she said Michelle Obama, right? Again, about Michelle Obama being a man, right? And there's a lot of controversy out there about that. Thank you for the lights. About her being a man, right? Michael Michelle and all the rest of this stuff, you know? It ain't like we never heard it before. But she reposted that. And she said that she didn't meant to repost it. I say that I call foul on it. I think she did meant to post it. And then she wasn't expecting to get the backlash. You got to understand as a celebrity, Chili, when you become a celebrity, you are fair game for real. Whether you do something nice or not, they're going to come for you. It's just how it is. The difference between me and her is that she will and hold prestige and popularity. She's a celebrity. Most people around our age, if you've been around 40, 50 years old, you know who TLC is easily, right? So that's the thing, though. You're going to become a target, and they're going to make you an example because they're not going to accept, many of them are not going to accept that you say that because you're not MAGA when they know that you donated $1,000, you know? That in fact, they're going to come after her harder than they came after than Nicki Minaj. Just know this. They're coming after her harder because she tried to backpedal. And one thing about it, though, if you what political party you align with, that's your business. You know, I'm not saying you don't have to put it out there in the street. All this could have went away had she would have not did it. So don't act like you're about the life unless you are. If you are, cool. If not, yeah, maybe this would be a learning lesson for you, you know? I'm being honest. All right, so let me go ahead here. Blah, 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 and things. Let me go ahead and try to get caught up over here. We know those analog charges of after 65 The Democrats or the KKK did not like that. They jumped ship and moved to the. Oh yeah, let me make a correction there for you. Black Pursuit, Black Pursuit. That's not what happened. That's the myth that the Democrats created in regards to the party myth switch. Let me break it down for you a little bit because I said I was going to come back to that part. It wasn't a party switch per se. Even though you are correct, the Ku Klux Klan originally started with the Democrat Party. That's been around since 1828. Republicans since 1854. The Democrats was the one for slavery, right? And when slavery was abolished in 1865, they created the Ku Klux Klan, the Night Riders, Ku Klux Klan. They also created the Black Laws, which is what we call Jim Crow laws, right? Then we also had segregation, and then we had redlining. All those policies came from the left. You can go and look it up, right? That is the party of the Democrat Party. That is the core of the Democrat Party. Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's the core of their belief system. Any Dixiecrat Democrat, and they were called Dixiecrats, right? Because we're talking about in the South and Dixie and the antebellum South, right? Where slavery was big business for them, right? Let's go on and keep it real, right? 100. I'm glad you brought this up. And then what else is what we're talking about with this thing? So the Republican Party came around in 1854, right? The Republican Party was started by two people. One was the abolitionist blacks and the Whig Party, which is the whites. In other words, blacks and whites started the Republican Party originally. Why? Because they wanted to stop the spread of what? Slavery that was only spreading out to the West. Remember, slavery is big money, big profit for the Democrats, the rich elite Democrats, right? Just like slavery practice all over the world, you got Europeans, you got Arab nations, and a lot of them that's practiced slavery. This was a big money thing. Spanish practiced slavery. So slavers, this ain't nothing new. But what I'm saying is that in America, it started with the Democrats, the Republicans, and there was some popular people, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, right? There's a lot of conservative blacks that were Republicans that you don't may not even be aware of, or maybe you may have. I'm not really for sure, but I just want to make a correction on that. Now let me tell you what ended up happening. 1964, right? There was a man by the name of Barry Goldwater, right? Barry Goldwater was a Republican, right? And at that time, there was still a lot of blacks that were Republican. But how did they become Democrat? Well, here's the reason. There was a thing called desegregation, right? To stop the desegregation in the South. Barry Goldwater could have signed off on that, ending desegregation as a Republican. But Barry Goldwater did not sign off on the desegregation. Martin Luther King was so upset with Barry Goldwater because the Republicans had an opportunity by getting the blacks. He could have kept the black vote, right? I'm talking about that's where it shifted right there in 64, right? It shifts from Republican blacks over to the Democrat blacks because a lot, Martin Luther King even said it. Barry Goldwater did not sign off on desegregation. Where is that leaving the black folks? The black folks have said, fuck the hell with the Republicans. If they didn't want to sign off on this thing, why should we be voting Republican? So they switched over to the Democrat Party. And there were some other situations too. But that's one of the main ones on record, right? If we were to look at this thing. So there, thank you for the light. So this is your reason why a lot of blacks have gravitated towards the Democratic Party, right? That's the main reason, right? And then when they implemented the Civil Rights Bill, the Welfare Act, and the Fair Housing Act in '68, and everything else, right? It solidified the black vote pretty much forever. Even Lyndon B. Johnson, which was a known racist, right? I mean, he was calling them N-word and everything. He said, I can have the N-word voting Democrat for the next 200 to 300 years, something like that. But he said that, he made that comment because they knew the psychology of it all. You give the blacks a little something, they'll be loyal to you, right? And the rest is history. And this is why many blacks gravitate on the Democrat side. Facts. That's exactly what ended up happening. Me personally, I think Barry Goldwater was a plant and a sellout of the Republican Party. He's of Jewish descent, obviously. And, I'm just saying, we go and look at him. He's a senator out of Arizona, I do believe. If you go and look it up, when I looked it up. But yeah, you can look this stuff up and you'll see what I and read read what I've read. And this is the reason why. This is why the blacks show loyalty to the Democrats. Now, here's the thing. For the Dems in the room that are starch, hardcore Democrat, have you ever asked yourself why things have never gotten any better in the so-called black community? Because they've been the ones that's been the longest in power, right? I'm talking about the Dems right now. Because they were the ones that, when we, with the public education, that went under, they separated church from state, right? And all the rest of the stuff. And then what did they do with the public education system? They put it in the hands of the government, public education, right? And sadly to say, in things, we have dealt with that. I had public education. I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. We've been used to going to school with overcrowding, where it's paid by 33, 34 students in one classroom, man. It was crazy. And when you have overcrowding of students, they can't get the special attention that they need. It's kind of like you got to be in an accelerated course type of deal. And that's where it was that I remember from I would probably say damn near K-12, if I remember correctly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I remember that mainly all my life, for things like that. Also, we have to look at this as well, right? When you start looking at how other groups and other, when we look at like other groups, right, outside of black, when for instance, we start looking at, what's to be a great example, several of them, because the NAACP, Urban League, right, these two were supposed to be for black people for the situation, because there was a lot of racist things that were going on, right, and they were supposed to offset that, right, but they did not. That civil rights bill, I'm telling you, the one that we have now, there's other ethnic groups that are under it, under that banner, right? And this is why when things have happened, when it relates to us and our issues, it always get passed over, right? Had that, because since that bill has been revamped and revitalized, it lost a lot of the main key components in it that would have helped black folks get ahead. But since that was changed, it helped pretty much decimate or kept us stagnant. I'd say it's kept us stagnant to where we should be economically and so forth, right? In our so-called communities. We lost a lot, but nobody challenged it. It's kind of like the same thing now, though. If I was a Democrat, I'd be calling them out. But you know what happened? They would accuse me for being MAGA, because that's what happened too. They would accuse you for being a Republican when you challenge your own party. One thing here on the right, we can challenge our own party and things. Nobody is running, but on the left, they're like this. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear what you have to say. What's left is great. We don't want to hear any type of wrong or whatever like that. I mean, look at John Fetterman. He's a Democrat, and he's letting you know that a lot of things that the Democrat Party is doing, even he don't even rock with it, because it goes beyond common sense. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have anything to really relate to what's really going on. They're pushing victimhood. They're pushing these people in these particular groups and making them, since they're already the victim, they kind of weaponizing them, right? They're making them special people. LGBT, they're not special, no different than you and me. We all got to get out here on our merit and get it. No special victim unit stuff should have been created, but that happened under Obama. Same-sex marriages happened under Obama, right? When we start looking at it. So with him, he have given more to the LGBTQ community, because again, at his time, they were only 4%. We're 13%. And let me mention another question too. I'm going to start asking questions now. For you Dems that are on the left, have you ever wondered why the black population never got past 13%. The number one reason is that black women abort their children at an alarming rate. We're talking about millions over. And there's never no pushback. It's never no outcry at all. But we always are, we're talking about black women deleting their babies or aborting their children at an alarming rate. Think about that. That's the number one that they never talk about. They want to say otherwise, but it's true. It's not gun violence, it's abortion. You know what I'm saying? Even when they had that rally, the No Kings rally yesterday as well. Guess what? It was abortion thing out there. They always have abortion clinics set up right up there on the right out there on the actual parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So if the we got Planned Parenthood that's targeted in these inner cities, in the poorest neighborhoods as well too. Thank you for the likes. So we have to think about this stuff, man. Just like I said before, when I started asking the Dems these questions of why is this all going on, instead of saying somebody is stupid or you just don't disagree, you got to give more context to the answer. If I'm asking a question, you should be ready to answer all that. Don't you find that to be some type of what's it? Not just controversy, but conspiracy. It's very conspiracy. It's conspiracy, man. When we start looking at this stuff. But like I said, I stand 10 toes down on who I vote for in the party and all the rest of that stuff, because I know Trump's policies. The Democrats, you don't know what you're getting until they get in the White House. They do this on purpose. And then what they do, when they'll make a statement, they'll make a empty promise is what they're called. And then they would change it and then they blame it on other people. They're always the ones, right, that always want to be right. They need to be right, right? Right? That's the thing about it, They are the ones that are not used to dealing with real criticism. Even the stuff that I brought up, we go look this stuff up, they cannot handle the real criticism. And that's why they come in here and say, you this and you that, or they go to the name calling because they cannot, keep up or have a rebuttal against what I'm saying, which is actually true. This is what ended up happening. I grew up in the black community. I'm over here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I've been raised here all my life, so you don't think that I would know. I've been on the planet longer than some of the people that have been in the room. Some of them, I'm talking about the younger ones. Other ones, we all at the same age range. I'm talking about Generation X, right? That's the generation that I come out of, right? So we saw things differently. But I never seen it very snowflakish like I see it today. The snowflakes started coming with the millennial generation, especially with the Zennials. They're even worse though. It's really sad to see the generations that come under us, and they're just so soft, and they're just so weak, and they can't take any type of criticism. And the safe spaces, and it's going to be okay with unicorns and rainbows and all this other stuff that the Dems promise them. This utopia type of experience. We're going to get rid of all the meanie people. We're going to get rid of the bullies. We all had to deal with bullies growing up, being being an actual Generation Xer, baby boomer, because one thing about that, it'll let you know where you are in society. And you're going to make you or break you, you know what I'm saying? You got to sink or swim. But they set all these safe spaces up, and then look what ended up happening. And they just made a generation or two soft, you know. Try criticizing them. It's just sad. It's sad because they can't take any type of criticism, man. It's really sad. So yeah, I had to go through all that to say, what is going on and stuff like that. But hey, I don't vote off of what somebody look like or what they sound like. I never voted for a man to be nice. I voted for him to get this country back together, right? Standing on the principles of the Constitution that made this country great. These are the things that I salute to. These are the things that I wanted to see. And it's sad to say that the Rhino Republicans, meaning Republican in name only, I said this several times, as well as the Democrats, they are one and the same group. They are the same group. There's no uniparty. I mean, it's a uniparty of the same people. That's what I meant to say. We don't have a bipartisan with this party stuff. There's still one party. Thune and Schumer. I mean, what's the other dude? Thune And your other Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCartney, and all these other people, those are all rhinos, though. They're just liberal, just like the people on the left. They're no different from Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. It's just that the people that believe that this is party, that they're different, they're not. They're the same. And that's why I'm in agreement with a lot of you, because you look at it, you be talking about Democrat, Republican, they're all the same up until Trump. Facts. They're all the same. They're all the same. That's the thing about it. What Trump and his policies, and we know a lot of his policies, and he ran on that on his campaign. And this is why they make him so popular, because the majority of his promises he has kept. He cornered the phrase, promise made, promise kept is a promise, promise made is a promise kept. And he ran on that, right? All I'm saying is you got to stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. And that's my advice that I would give TLC. Chili. I would give her the same advice. You got to be willing to stand on something. You just can't be sitting up in here and go wishy-washy. And that's why she's under a major attack. Because now that they done got in your head and make you feel bad for voting for Trump, that means that that group on the left have won. That means that you aren't this group. You're not that person. Right? You're not that person that you say you was when you say you voted for the person on the right or Trump. And then it makes us look like, to me, it don't bother me, but those are my only two criticisms of Chile. That's why I created this in the first place. I haven't done one in the car in a long time. People that have been around my early stuff, they know I was always in the car doing what I'm doing now. When I did my lives, I was always in the car, man, a lot. They said this guy lived in the car all the time, until I got my studio finally set up. So, it's a method to the madness, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's exactly what it is. But here's the thing about it. With the left, again, no disrespects to you guys. Like I said, I like trolling you, but you always asking questions all the time, right? And I'm beginning to, because I've seen the same stuff in other people's lives as well. It's not for understanding, it's to get a gotcha moment. Learn this from your Democratic elites. And I'm sorry to say that it does not work. It doesn't work at all. What works is, it's just admit it. You may not have any type of retort of what I'm saying today, and that's fine, right? But when you start to ask the question with another question, it's really just disingenuous. And I notice with the left, they do this a lot. They always move the goalposts every single time. When you go and do this one question, they do another one. I see it with the people on the left that are influencers, social influencers. They love moving the goalposts. Well, tell me why you vote for Trump? Why you vote for Trump? This is the question all the time, right? This is what they got, and they move the goalposts all the time. Instead of just saying, if we're going to have a real debate for real, it should be a moderator, and I'm a great moderator as well. That way, because I'm gonna keep you on that topic. We're not gonna move the goalposts. I'm gonna keep you on whatever the questions is. In fact, let me come up with the questions. I think that'd be better. Let me do the questions. We get the questions together. Then we have a moderator. And one of the rules, you cannot change. You have to answer the question or you're automatically out. If you crash out, you're automatically out. That's number 2. Number 3, if you move the goalpost, you out. So we have to put some rules up on this stuff if we're going to start to have a real debate, the way that debates really should be. And then we'll see how much of you, we'll see how much you really know. Because you shouldn't crash out if you stand on a strong belief of what you believe in. And if you well research on both parties. I find the fake moderates that come in my room, they're not moderates. They really undercover Democrats. But their party has embarrassed them so much that they pose to be moderates. A real moderate knows both parties. So my friend Omega that comes in this room, he's a true moderate. He even told you that he said he didn't like Donald Trump very much, but he voted for him because he saw the policies that work. That's a true moderate. A real moderate ain't gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, I'm a moderate, but I don't like Trump," and that means you don't know the policies. That's the thing about it. See, I'm not chilly. I stand on because I'm a man, and I stand on my beliefs and what I know. And we need more men, black, white, and other, to do the same. We need more of that though, man. What is it? The man becoming a woman now? You care more about what a woman think of you because you stand or you align with Trump. I couldn't give a damn, you know. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a while, man. You think I care? At least one thing about me, you see my face, you see what I'm about, right? I'm not over here hiding behind a meme. When you go and pull these people channels up, they have like one or no subscribers, no videos. Who's the coward, right? That's the thing. So like I said, I'm gonna start doing more of these on this topic lives, like what we're doing now. That way we can have this conversation. When I'm not in the studio. Give me 1 minute, guys. Yep, I got to use that restroom. All right. I got it now. There we go. It got it. It was muted. Thank you, Randy. Yep. It was muted. Yep, it was muted. Now, where was I saying now? Okay, there we go. Right? See, you see the liberals in this room, and like I said, I call them out. Hey, Joe Mama, how you doing? I know that many of the liberals that come in this room, Sassy been in here before, and here's the thing about it. Always change the goalposts, always ask the question of being disingenuous, right? Snowflake, TDS, not knowing the policies. And one thing Sassy said, she asked about billionaires are the only players, and she learned this from who? The Democrat so-called elite left. They never call out the millionaires. I said this on my last live stream. They'll never talk about the millionaires. They always talk about billionaires. Why is that? And this is when I ask a direct question. I know why, but I want to see how sharp Sassy is, right? Because I'm going to get a couple of you guys in my figurative crosshairs, on some of the questionings I'm going to be targeting against. And I'm going to see, and this for any of you other guys that you, if you're so smart, why is it that they always talk about billionaires and not, billionaires and not millionaires? That's a question I have for you. Bazooka says, sup, my man. What's going on with you, man? What's happening with you? Yeah. Randy got the thumbs up with the American flag. We got Joe Mama, not Joe Mama, but Joe Mama in the house. Hey, Joe Mama, how you doing, man? And he won't see it for an hour. This is why I don't mod much, right? What you say, though? What you say, Joe Mama? Who don't see it for an hour? Who don't see it, Joe Mama? I'm lost, man. I'm lost in the sauce, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. uh, what's going on, my Joe Mama? Got American Hero in the house. Yeah. We had some snowflakes and some Gen X, but they all got laughed at. Nobody took them seriously. Yeah. Let's see here. Snowflakes and Gen X. I see more of the snowflakes though, actually, with millennials and zennials though, because you had to be tough to be a Gen Xer, man. I'm telling you, we had to deal with bullies. They never had to deal with bullies being not really. We had to deal with all that stuff. We was out there doing evil Knievel stuff with our bikes, jumping ramps with the center blocks and all the rest of that stuff. I don't know about that one. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're talking to a real Gen Xer. You know what I mean? Right? See, and hear what Michael say. This is how you see what a liberal right here. He said, who is fatter, you or Trump? See, Michael, you already been defeated. You are triggered in your emotions. You think I'm going to play your game? Michael, you don't have nothing to me. Sit down and play in the playground where you belong. You know what I'm saying? With your low IQ self. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. Michael is butthurt because he can't answer the questions. You just come in this room or whatever like that, and not talking. I miss what Joe Mama was saying. You know what I'm saying? But the show must go on. The show must go on, man. That's just how it goes, man. Because I get so many comments. And see, my channel is not designed to read comments all day either, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I read them at my leisure. But, you have the right to stay or go. It's just how it is. Michael says, you're delusional. It's simple as shit. But you haven't even. But here's the thing, though, Michael. I haven't heard you when I asked that question earlier. You know what I asked, and that's all you got to do. See, liberal talking points, delusional, right? One of the first ones. Then they go after your appearance. Then what else do? They move the goalposts when you ask the question. Sound familiar? This is what the liberals have, and y'all have done a horrible job in this country when the liberals were in control. If anything, you created a Donald Trump from your party. All this no kings crap. You created all that stuff, right? That all came from your party. And another thing is that Michael is triggered. Exactly. What's that? Lano? Yeah. Yeah, he's triggered. Because again, liberals get very triggered very easily. They get triggered with this and that's another reason why I wear this. because he get in his room and they want to trigger, you know, because I'm not biting. Notice I'm not attacking him, coming after him. That's how the liberals play. They play those games to get you off your square, and then they know that don't work. There it is. I've been over here like a cool Monday morning, man, talking to you guys. Weather is nice. What is it, like 72 degrees? You know? Boy, I tell you. Exactly. If the Dems didn't lose their shit, we would have had a actual, what's that, about the government and politics. Yeah, they don't. They don't believe in that stuff. They're taught what their masters tell them. They're nothing but sock puppets too. The constituents, a lot of them are butt hurt. They can't stop Trump. Trump is just too smart for them, you know. And this is the reason why they want to still try to push the crap in Iraq. That war been over. You know what I'm saying? But they still trying to peddle it as if Trump done jacked up. Prices are going to go down with the gas and everything else. They're not going to have anything to even complain about again. Y'all back at square one, far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about that. Boy, I tell you, man. Michael, you have nothing for me, sir. Yep. Unfortunately, you're going to lose the midterms because, like as I said before, the voter rolls are going to be cleaned up. The American Save Act will be passed, right? One way or the other, executive order or whatever the case may be, we're going to get it done. It's going to happen, right? President still holds a lot of authority, and we still are the controller of the House and Senate for right now as well too. Facts are facts. So you got to suck it. We're good. You got to come in this room, right? So, like I said before, Miss Randy, before I even say what I'm going to say, Randy says Venezuelan citizens, I reckon citizens are celebrating in Cuba, and Cuba is asking Trump to help them. Yeah, exactly, though, Randy. You're absolutely correct. You know, Todd said, I like this guy. I appreciate it, Todd, man. I like you for being in this room as well and everybody else. I appreciate it very much, man. This is exactly what it is, though. Yeah, but you know what, Todd? It's like the liberals love playing the victim for so long. They're upset. And really, man, it's like we really got to start opening back up that insane asylum like we used to have in the 60s and the 70s, going down. Because a lot of them need serious help up here. They're not mentally ill. They think that Trump is the problem of all their worries and aches and woes, which is not. The real problem is, we already know what the real problem is. This delusional stuff, this phony bill help that they claim they have and they don't. And they can't even debate very well. Goes in name calling, very triggered. I'm over here chilling like it's a Sunday morning, really, even though it's Monday today, you know. And I welcome everybody into the room too. Thank you for coming into the live stream. I appreciate the likes as well as the subscriptions as well too, subscribing and things. And I appreciate you guys, man. It's been good. I got 100 today. I got one of those 100s and stuff. So that's been cool, man. It really has. You know. So yeah, like I said before, you're all welcome and things. But yeah, as far as with the liberals, I mean, you're welcome too. But the problem is with you liberals, man. It's you know, this I never created this channel to convince hardcore liberals. This is not what this is for. It was designed for people that are real moderates as well as people on the right, where we can have a space to dialogue, kick it with or whatever, and things of that nature. When you guys are out there with that no king stuff, boy, and I covered one of them on my lives. I think it was when did I do that? I think I did that on a Saturday. Yep, and things, and you didn't see no MAGA people don't have to do that stuff, you know, and things. But when we have one, you better rest assured people gonna really show up, and it's gonna be loud. I heard I'm over here watching. You guys watch. We watched it with Bernie Sanders. Man, those applauses was so light. It was like I could count the type of people that was over there, man. I don't know if they even cracked 1,000, man. But you know, the camera optics, they try to make it like it was bigger than what it was, talking about millions all over and all this other stuff. But they started including people all over the It was another sad attempt, pitiful attempt about some no kings. And this is how sad it is for the liberals. I'm talking about the hardcore ones, right? You got other liberals don't even rock with that stuff. They said they stopped becoming liberal when what the stuff that they were doing by attacking the police, right? They were going after people up in churches and all this other stuff. What else did they do, man? I mean, because of the rhetoric that they were speaking, that would cause our Charlie Kirk to get murdered, and I mean, assassinated and stuff like that. It was all coming from them on the left. The left is considered to be the most violent in this country, the most anti-American in this country, the one that hate the Constitution, right? Because if they really knew the Constitution, they'll know that Trump is not no damn king, but only retarded people, butt hurt people that push that narrative, right? And your numbers don't even reflect what the movement really about. We still got way more conservatives in this country. Because you could be, let's say, a lot of people have conservative viewpoints. We don't rock with the people having a man in a woman's bathroom, nor playing on the sports. So y'all lost a lot of people on the left with that BS. I would never stand for a man being in a woman's bathroom. But you see the people in here, they stand for being in a woman's bathroom and all the other stuff, man. This is why you are losing, and you are continuously going to die on that hill. And I love it. You absolutely think that, oh, when the midterms come around, we'll see. You made a jackass out of yourself, just like you got a jackass party. Isn't your party a donkey? Isn't a donkey considered a jackass, you jackasses? On the left. This is how much insane and how these are morons. They got a jackass representing their party. Look at them. I would much rather have a big fat elephant better than being a jackass. Because one thing about an elephant, we never forget. Elephant have a great memory. Jackasses is just dumb. That's why they call them a dumb donkey. Don't really do much. What does a donkey really do other than being a big jackass? Oh, man, I tell you, man. You know, they get butt hurt or whatever. But my channel is not designed for no snowflake, soy boys. I have more respect for the women being that way than the men. Oh, man, pumping out a bunch of estrogen. Boy, I tell you. That's why Michael, yeah, he didn't want that life, man. Look at him. He was triggered. Oh, man, yeah. I tell you, man, liberals, man. Look at this. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Ralph, I'm going to go ahead and get you in my crosshairs now. Now that I got Michael together, I'm going to get you together too, man. You know what I'm saying? Use another soy boy. You know what I'm saying? If you are part of the left and you that sensitive to my words, then you are a jackass. So if it don't apply, let it fly. But if it does, then hey, it is what it is. What you going to do about it? That's the question is, what you going to do? Huh? What you going to do about it? I'm waiting. You guys were the same ones talking about, yeah, blacks going to get rounded up by Trump and you be deported. What you going to do? He said, when I name call, it's okay, though. Because it's my channel. I don't care if you name call or not. I can get down on your level, too, but I get down with the facts. It is a party, a jackass party. Look up. You don't know what a jackass is? Oh, my goodness, man. This is just too easy, man. It's too easy. Too easy. They can't handle emotions or whatever. Look at this. Boy, just making yourself look real bad, man. Oh, man. The fact you an idiot. This is Charlie got said. You keep repeating yourself. Look at this. Boy, you you keep repeating yourself. The fact you an idiot. Oh my gosh, man. Don't y'all love it? It's true. It's true, boy. You are so sorry, poor excuse for a man, Mr. Raff. And this ain't even your name. Why you hide behind the avatar? Mr. Ralph, let me ask you this, Mr. Raff. Let me ask you, why? Let me ask you. Why do you hide behind the avatar? Why do you hide behind the avatar? You know that's not your name. You know you're a Star Trekky nerd anyway, right? That's why you created. You don't think I knew? This is me. What are you talking about? See, when you ask them a direct question, look at what they do. Move the goalposts. Ask them with another question. Look at them. I can't even take you serious, Mr. Rap, because you hide behind the avatar. Y'all never show your face. Coward. Just admit you some nerd boy somewhere. I don't even know. We don't have any information on you. You just come in the room, just talking ish. Coward. Coward. Say it. You and Charlie. Michael too. Cowards. Nothing but cowards. Don't have nothing to say. Cowards. Nothing lower than the leftist. Salty, you're absolutely right. Hey, Red Guy 9, I'm trying to understand what Joe Mama was saying earlier. I read a little bit. He says, and he won't see it for an hour. This is why I don't mod very much. I'm trying to see what he says. See what? Did I miss something? Red Guy 9. What is? I don't. I just got bit of it. I'm trying to scroll down now. Cause when I get on my talks and things like that, I don't read the comments often. I miss what he said. It just says, and he won't see it for an hour anyway. That's why I don't mind very much. Yeah, it's all good, Joe Mama, man. It's all good though, man. Yeah, yep, it's all good though, man. Like I said though, man. Yeah, I noticed you ain't been on very much and stuff like that. That's cool, and things. But hit me, hey, Joe Mama, hit me up. Let's have a dialogue and a conversation afterwards. Cause I gotta understand what you said. I don't see it. You just said, and he won't see it to about an hour, and that's why I don't mind very much. So Joe Mama was talking about to someone else. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see. That's the thing about it. I didn't really see. I didn't see the whole thing though. In regards to that, that's why I was kind of okay. But oh well, that's what I was trying to say, man. Don't let these people get. Don't let these liberals, man. Don't because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. That's what I'm saying. Dealing with them is a waste of time. I don't answer a lot of the questions with them at all. When I get real moderates in the room and others that really want to know, then it's different because it's the question is totally different. That's like the one I had the other day. The questions were totally different. Yeah, these guys are some of the same ones that I've been dealing with. Come in the room, you know. That's his whole. That's what I'm saying though. It's just don't have anything. You don't think I know that you watch Star Trek, Mr. Wrath of Khan? You try to put the H in there, you probably like you ran out of room. I know you're a Trekkie fan. I'm a Trekkie fan too. That's how I was able to know where you came up with the name. But I would have had more respect for you if you would have just put your real name in there. Listen, I'm not going to come after you and beat you up. You ain't got to be afraid of me. I know I'm large and in charge and all, but you ain't got to worry about me coming over there looking for you if you had your real name up over here. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to have these old goofy, and damn well your name ain't no Mr. and a rap of Mr. Khan and all this other stuff. He says, you won't, but I know others will. I understand that, man. I'm not going to, like I said, you right about that. I don't go on here threatening nobody and stuff like that. No. Mm-mm. And that's your prerogative. You don't want yourself to be seen and known. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Besides the politics, like I tell people, I am a Trekkie fan. And I'm a cool dude. I love Star Wars too. I used to collect comic books too. I did all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Little Wayne, I'm like Little Wayne. He hang out with the skater group. Little Wayne is a skater, man. He's one of those skater guys, No, and I remember those guys half pike, the skating. I never hung with the skater. I wasn't that good to hang with them and do that stuff. The BMX stuff, that was more of my stuff. You know what I mean? That was more of my thing. Mr. Ralph Khan says, yeah, but a second ago you were saying my opinion was like, well, I'm just saying you kind of, well, yeah, baby. Well, this is what I do, though, Mr. Ralph, man. You gotta let me, at least, I can't make fun of you, man. That's what the thing about being American, though. Just like when they come out there, look at it. They call me Mr. Nutty Professor, right? They call me Uncle Ruckus, They call me bootlicker. They call me Sambo. Do you think I'm bothered by that? I do the baby voice, but I do it out of love. I do it out of love, But I feel like, well, why am I not upset? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You got a good point. No, I'm not upset. And you shouldn't be either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Red Guy 9 said, yes, I can't wait till your channel blow up, man. Tony, big time. Thank you, though, Red Guy 9. I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, I always have personality for show business. I just can't do the weird Hollywood stuff. No. But yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you, boy. Yes, Mr. Ralph Kakan says, all I did was describe what you are doing. I can't have it. Red, come on now. I gotta have some fun. Am I allowed to have some fun? Uh, Lano says, when I was a kid, okay, all we did was mess with each other. That's true. We played the dozen. And if you could not take it, then you got it no more. Yeah, that's true. Because it's a thing called, in the black community, we call playing the dozen, where we cap on each other. And it wasn't out of hatred towards one another until somebody got serious, and then you know how that go. You know what I mean? Well, trash talking is another one. And I grew up in that era, man. Mr. Ralph says, you were upset, though, because you were mocking me. Well, okay. Let's just do this, Mr. Ralph. All right. As I know you, okay, if you're a little sensitive, that's okay. I won't make fun of you no more, okay? That's cool. I ain't going to make fun of you, all right? Lano says, these kids who have thin skin. Yeah, I know, man, because it's a different generation. Mr. Ralph says, for liking something you also like. Yeah, no. I never, now, when it comes down to Star Wars, like I always said, though, man, I'm a big Trekkie. Star Trek, too. I'm a Trekkie. Alien, you name the sci-fi, right? I ain't gonna, all of them weren't good now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like no Space Odyssey. I didn't like that. I'm gonna be really honest, though. Stanley Kubrick, I fall asleep on that every time, man. Sorry, but not everything. But Alien, that was mine. Alien versus Predator, that was mine. Prey, that was kind of mine, too, So, like I said, I'm still about that life. Lano says, I'm from Hawaii, and it was the same here. Man, that's what's up, man. You are from Hawaii, man. I got a friend of mine that went to Hawaii State. He was out there. This is like in the 80s. In fact, he's older than me, but he's also last of the baby boomers. He's a generation before I am. But at any event, yeah, man, I heard great things about Hawaii, man. That's what's up. Quark, I would say Quark. Yeah, Quark. Let me see if I'm spelling that right. How do you feel about Tibet independence? That's a good question, man. Tibet, man. Since I'm not in China, oh man. Oh man, that is a complicated one, man. Tibet. I do know this from my understanding about Tibet. Aren't they persecuted for their religious stance on life? Because I know China has a problem with people that are from to Tibetan people because of that, because of what they believe in. The same thing that Chinese Christians, right? Chinese Christians are not looked up on as being, they're not looked up on as being welcome in China. And the reason why I know that because my Chinese teacher, my Mandarin Chinese teacher, she's originally from China originally, right? And then there was the reason that she left China, say undercover practicing Christian in China, and she left out of China. I think with the help of the Christian ministry, missionaries, they ended up helping her escape because they were going to really, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that's the thing about it. With Tibet, man, I believe that people should be able to have. I said this earlier. Everybody should have freedom to practice their religion. But China's a whole different situation. Even though they have some things of capitalism now, before it was all communism. Back when with Mao Zedong, but now they have adopted some of the capitalist types of in certain things that they've been allowed to be able to do, but it's only to a certain degree. But the religion aspects of it is it's frowned on tremendously. I don't have an answer for Tibet because it is in Chinese territory. They control that, and yeah, man, it's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I can say about that, man. It's tough, man. Red Dog 9 says he's a son husband. Oh yeah, son husband. I'm sorry to hear that. Mr. Ralph Khan says I'm just pointing out you don't make sense. Now let me make this. Now ask yourself this though, Mr. Ralph Khan. Just because I may not make sense to you, there's a lot of people in this room says otherwise. You even read the comments that I read out. So for many people that says I make sense to, you're one that I don't make sense. I give you three because there were some other guys in here. Who has more who has more reality on what I'm saying is real or not? I would say that our eyes have it because there's more of them than it is of you. It's fewer of you. So yeah, you'll lose that point. Absolutely, you'll lose that. Lou Hawk says, "Hey, let's see here. The type of supreme leader. Okay, the supreme leader. Hey, you meant to say, hey, describe of the supreme leader on the earth. Who do you think it is, Lou Hawk? Before I even say anything, the supreme leader, right? Lionel says he was joking on you, man. Oh, was he? I didn't know. I don't know. See, that's the thing about the scrolling stuff. I can even tell if he's joking or for real, though. I'm serious. I can't. That's the only thing about it, though, man. I'm still at a loss on that. I gotta admit. Heck, yes, aliens. Aliens was the shiznit for real. I was about that life with Alien, man. I like Aliens was my favorite of all of the Alien whatever. But I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is for you too, Mr. Ralph Khan, you too. Y'all would agree with it. You remember Sega came out with a game? I think this was over 10 years ago. It was called Alien Isolation. I dare you to play that game wearing a VR at night while everybody's asleep when it's quiet in the house. Can you play that game in its entirety? Right? It's called Alien Isolation. It left off with Amanda. What's her name? You had Ripley, right? Amanda Ripley, the daughter of, Ellen Ripley. Ellen Whip Ripley, right? There we go. Ripley. I dare you to play that game. I dare you to play that game at night. Oh, any of you. Alien Isolation. Play that game and see what happens, man. Alien Isolation was the great game, right? I say, man, if you got that, I got a VR at home, man, but I say one of these days I'm going to get the nerve to do it. Man, I'm going to get the nerve to do it, though, man. That darn alien walking around there, you can hear him stomping. Boom, 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 boom. He comes down out of the air vent, tail and all, man. You can see that tail just dropping down. Oh, man. And then he got those jaws with that acid dripping and that damn second jaw that comes out to get you. What about the face huggers? Y'all like the face huggers? Man, and the chest bursters. Oh man, boy, what y'all do? Y'all know about that life? Tell me if you do or not. Alien Isolation. It's one of the greatest alien games out there. It's the greatest one ever, though, ladies and gentlemen. Man, Alien Isolation. I heard they're coming out with a part two. Man. They need to go on and hook that up and make that in a movie. That got to be a movie, man. If I was gonna say that should have been after Aliens. They should have put not that Aliens 3, man. Being on that planet, on that prison, they were on that prison planet with Charles S. Dutton. Yeah, Charles S. Dutton played in that, and I didn't like that one, man. I didn't like Alien 3 at all, man. I did not like it. No. Yep. But other than that, though, guys, man, it's yeah. He said, yeah, the prison one was weird. Yeah, it was weird and weak. I didn't like it. No, mm-mm. The one I like was Aliens, man. And if you would have if they would have put Alien Isolation, it has to go right after Aliens, right? At least, in fact, we missing one. We would have to know what happened up until. So there's one got to go in between Aliens and Alien Isolation. You got to put another movie in there. What's that? Like I said, what's his name? The guy that created it, Ripley Scott. Ripley Scott got to go on and do it. If he gonna do it, he got to put two of them in there. It's got to be between aliens. There got to be one there, whatever they're gonna call that. That could be called not the Extremo, but what's the other ship that went down? It's called. Help me out with the ship, y'all. The one that picked up Ripley and stuff. The Savage people picked up Ripley. That's Aliens. No, wait a moment. The one after Alien, there was a ship. What's that ship called? It's called. It starts with an S. It'll come back to me. Yep, it'll come back to me. It's the one that starts with an S. They got to start it with their Alien Isolation, and then the one after Alien Isolation. Boy, I tell you, man, people will be packed in, man. It'd be those good old glory days when Alien first came out in 1978. Man, you had Yaphet Kotto in there, the young Yaphet Kotto. Yep. You know, of course you had Sigourney Weaver in there, of course. I can't think of the other dude's name, the one that played Dallas and all the rest of them, man. But other than that, guys, I got to get going. I got to head back. I got to get back to work and things. Had to do a little break today. But you guys been great, though, man. Mr. Raph, it's all good. The Raph Khan, hope to see you return. I get a lot of other people to come back. Man, I got to get back to work, though, guys, for real, for real. But I appreciate you guys for being on the channel and things. And yeah, so and I appreciate what's her name? I appreciate Chili as well too. I see you guys on the next channel. I'm your brother, Tony Love. Peace and chicken grease. I am out. See y'all, man. Yep. I got to go. Peace. Yep. All right. You guys are still here, man? You guys got to go, man. Get out the room. Go to work. I got to get work. I got to get going. You take it easy too, Red Guy 9. I'll see you. I may come back on later again too, man. All right, peace. I'm out. Thanks, guys.